if God came down, how do you fix gold and make it perfect? Well, you make it impossible to mine anymore. What if, and then we get into the fantasy thing. What if, if God came down, and there's a bit of theology here, if you allow me, if God came down and wanted to fix gold, it's impossible to make any more gold, right? How can you make it better? It'd be really great if it was weightless. How do you make it better? I'm going to cast a spell and allow you to teleport the gold anywhere on earth. If God said, I'm going to implement a system of 21 million gold coins, but we're going to call them God coins, and I'm going to keep them in a bank in heaven, and I'm going to let you transfer, any amount. I'm going to let you subdivide it by 100 million, and we'll call them Satoshis. And I will let you transfer peer-to-peer and pay anybody, anytime, instantly at the speed of light.
And the vision of 10 blocks per second is that, things become internet speed crypto, internet speed proof of work.
And I will keep track of the ledger of who owes what.
Way.
I will never cheat you, and I will do it forever, for free.
So you keep the same ethos, the same principles of Bitcoin, of a Nakamoto system, proof of work, blocks, transactions, all the things you're familiar with, and you are just sequencing the messages differently, sequencing the blocks differently, in a way that is guaranteeing eventual agreement, similarly to Nakamoto consensus.
Okay, well then maybe Bitcoin isn't digital currency at all, right? Digital currency, probably the best example of a true digital currency, or close to it right now, would be a tether, a stable coin. And if I could move a stable coin, $87 worth of it at the speed of light on a crypto rail, no KYC, no regulatory controls, with complete privacy, that feels like digital currency, completely private digital currency.
So when you listen to most of the interviews that has been done by Michael Saylor, you are going to notice something. He's been describing Kaspa indirectly without mentioning Kaspa. So most of the times he's been saying that Bitcoin is peer-to-peer electronic payment system, but we know exactly that Bitcoin is slow. And if the whole world would decide to adopt Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin could not solve that problem. But also he's talking about Bitcoin being able to process transactions instantly. That is not possible when it comes to Bitcoin. You only have Kaspa, which is a proof of work cryptocurrency that is secure, decentralized, and scalable, that is able to process instant transactions. After 10 blocks per second, we observed that Kaspa is the fastest proof of work cryptocurrency. It is the fastest cryptocurrency that has not sacrificed either decentralization, either security, or scalability. So it solves the blockchain trilemma, but at the same time becomes more efficient than most of the proof of work or most of the proof of stake cryptocurrencies. So saying Bitcoin can process instant transactions, can process transactions at a speed of light, that is not describing Bitcoin, that is describing Kaspa. So soon or later, I think Bitcoin maxis, or the people who believe in Bitcoin, I think they are going to find out that anything that they wanted in Bitcoin, everything that they want in Bitcoin is available in Kaspa. But Kaspa has some really added unique features that you cannot find in any other blockchain. You have the ability to process transactions instantly. You also have the ability to do smart contracts. We have Dagknight coming on, and there's a lot more that is going to be developed. So this is actually massive for the Kaspa community. So we have this post from Kaspa Media which says, Kaspa, where the real power isn't in marketing, it's in people. I think the Kaspa community is one of the amazing communities in the cryptocurrency industry. Imagine having no marketing team, but at the same time being able to push the word about Kaspa to as many people as we are actually doing. So one of the things that most blockchains start with is marketing. Before they even create a product, before they even create something useful, they start with marketing. So you're going to see a lot of promotions, a lot of advertisements before they even create anything. So Kaspa is developing, Kaspa is building, and Kaspa is renovating every single day. But at the same time, it doesn't need market because the community are doing the marketing perfectly. Of course, I think if Kaspa had decided to have a marketing team, I think Kaspa would be unstoppable now. But that's not the right way to do things. You have to let the community drive the marketing. You have to let the community grow organically, because that's how Bitcoin did it. Bitcoin had no marketing team. Bitcoin had no promotions and everything. People understood Bitcoin and people adopted Bitcoin. You can see the people who hated Bitcoin, the people who were skeptical about Bitcoin, now they are the people that want as much Bitcoin as they can. So this is actually going to happen when it comes to Kaspa. Kaspa, where the real power isn't in marketing, it is in people. Community is everything. Even if you have the coolest technology in the world, if you don't have a good organic community, I think people are going to turn their backs on you when they feel like they are not getting involved or they are not participating in the project as they should. But Kaspa is one of the cryptocurrencies that is community driven, which is actually massive. We also have another post from @CoinDaily. Finally, they've decided to talk about Kaspa. Now you can notice when they talk about Kaspa, it's only just like a hint. They don't go into much details, like Kaspa is a proof of work which is decentralized, scalable, fast, secure, without compromising anything. They don't go into great details about Kaspa. What they always post is, tell me why you like Kaspa, and they leave the work to the community. That's why I really like the community of Kaspa. The Kaspa community is really amazing. You can see that they've decided to flood the comment section and everyone is trying to share their knowledge about why they like Kaspa. Now we have one of the interesting posts from Crypto Connection which says, Kaspa has the strength of every blockchain with none of the weakness. Its only flaw is behind the development curve. Why do you ignore Kaspa? I think this is actually true because Kaspa has the strength of every blockchain. If you talk about proof of work, it is also proof of work. If you talk about, and when you talk about proof of stake, speed and scalability, it also achieves that aspect without sacrificing any type of security, any type of decentralization. So this is actually massive for Kaspa. People are starting to wake up on Kaspa, and soon or later you're going to see more and more influencers start to cover Kaspa. This is going to be interesting, so let's see what happens in the near future. So there is something that we have observed in terms of number of unique active addresses. We can see that the number of unique active addresses has skyrocketed. It is currently at 23.25k, and as you can see in the previous days, in June 8th, 2025, the number of unique active addresses was 13.75k, and on June 11th, just 3 days after, we have 25.13k unique active addresses. So this is really massive. When you see the number of unique active addresses, that means that people are now creating more wallets, people are now getting involved in Kaspa, which is really massive for the Kaspa ecosystem. Let's see what this number is going to be in the future, but I think more and more people are going to come and more people are going to be using Kaspa, so we expect the number of unique active addresses to keep on going up, and this is really good for Kaspa. So another thing that reminded me of Dagknight, we know Dagknight protocol is created for situations like this. In this post you can see exactly that. Massive outage being reported across platforms including Spotify, Google Cloud, AWS, Cloudflare, Cloud, YouTube, Gmail, and many more. These are the things that Dagknight is actually created for. So by the time everyone is down, Google Cloud is down, AWS is down, Cloudflare is down, Kaspa is going to be running smoothly because of the Dagknight protocol, and we can't wait to see Dagknight protocol implemented on a Kaspa network. So these announcements make me know exactly the importance of things like Dagknight, the developments that are being developed on Kaspa, the core team, and Jonathan Sopoliski being one of the people that is really important in the Kaspa core team. These are really important stuff, and if you have people that can envision stuff like this before they even happen, when you have people in the Kaspa community who are trying to solve things that most of the blockchains haven't even thought about, think about the future problems that may come, that are going to happen inevitably, because we can see some really big signs. If you can see, these are big players, for example Google Cloud, AWS, Cloudflare. If you have outages like this, I think it is really important for these developments to happen on Kaspa. And the good thing is that you have a lot of brilliant minds in the Kaspa community, in the Kaspa core team, that are working on some really amazing and unique features. That's why I say that Kaspa is positioned to become one of the leading cryptocurrency, because you have brilliant minds who are thinking way ahead before even other blockchains catch up. So other blockchains are going to wake up when it is already late, but the good thing is that Kaspa already knows that stuff like this might happen. In order for Kaspa to become future-proof, developments like Dagknight are going to be really, really important. And this announcement from Gold Telegraph says, the World Bank is warning that the global economy will see the slowest decade for global growth since the 1960s. When it rains, it pours. So the reasoning behind this post is that we know exactly that people are going to be looking for hard assets, for example, gold and silver. But in the digital world, in the digital economy, we know exactly that people are going to be looking for digital assets like Kaspa and Bitcoin. And that's where most of the people are going to be putting their money. So when it rains, it pours. When it rains for the other, monetary systems, it pours in the digital asset landscape, for example, Kaspa and Bitcoin. And by the time this happens, I think Kaspa is going to be already established as one of the digital assets that you have to really be looking at when it comes to investing. So this is not financial advice. Always do your own research. In my opinion, I think Kaspa is one of the best assets to be holding in these times. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you prefer holding US dollars? Do you prefer holding gold? Do you prefer holding silver? Do you prefer holding Bitcoin? Or do you prefer holding Kaspa and Bitcoin, or just owning Kaspa? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Now we have another announcement which is not actually good, I think, but it is really important for me to update you, because this might really affect the prices of most of the cryptocurrencies. Not only the cryptocurrencies, the stock market, the foreign exchange market, and other markets. We have this announcement which says 335 million liquidated from crypto market in the past 60 minutes after Israel launches strikes on Iran. The markets hate uncertainty, and when there's stuff like this happening, when Israel, let's say, is attacking Iran, when Iran is attacking anybody, and when there's stuff like this going on, investors become uncertain. And when investors become uncertain, is that they tend to pull money out of the markets, because no one wants uncertainty, and that can be really painful to the markets. Now expect some volatility in the markets, and we're going to see what is going to happen in the near future. So I would like to finish up by saying thank you to everyone that has been following me on X, everyone that has been liking my videos, subscribing and supporting this channel. Thank you so much, and see you in the next episode.